Let me start with this powerful topic that's affecting so many lives today. When we talk about bipolarity and narcissism, we're diving deep into something that touches countless families, relationships, and individuals. The ancient Stoics, those wise minds from thousands of years ago, they knew something about handling these intense emotional states that we're just beginning to understand in modern times. You see, they had this incredible way of looking at mental challenges, and their insights might just be what we need right now. Think about this for a moment. You're sitting there, watching someone you care about swing between extreme highs and lows, while simultaneously displaying those classic narcissistic traits. It's like watching someone trying to navigate a ship through a storm, while claiming they're the best captain in the world. The Stoics would tell us this isn't just about managing symptoms. It's about understanding the deeper connection between these two conditions that often dance together in the same mind. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The ancient Stoic philosophers, particularly Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, they understood something fundamental about human nature. They recognized that our emotions, our self-image, and our perception of reality are all interconnected. When you're dealing with both bipolarity and narcissistic tendencies, you're essentially facing a complex interplay of these elements, magnified to an intensity that can overwhelm both the individual and those around them. Let's break this down in a way that makes sense to everyone watching. Imagine your mind as a magnificent theater, where bipolarity is the dramatic performance, switching between comedy and tragedy, while narcissism is the spotlight that never seems to dim. The Stoics would say that the key isn't to shut down the theater, it's to become a better director of your own show. They understood that self-awareness isn't just some fancy psychological term. It's the foundation of personal growth and emotional stability. The connection between these two conditions isn't just coincidental, and that's something we need to understand clearly. When someone experiences the intense emotional highs of mania, it can naturally feed into grandiose narcissistic patterns. During these periods, the person might feel invincible, uniquely gifted, and entitled to special treatment, characteristics that align perfectly with narcissistic traits. But here's the real kicker. When the inevitable low period hits, it can trigger narcissistic injury, creating a cycle that's particularly challenging to break. Let's get real about what this means in your everyday life. When you're dealing with someone who has both these conditions, or maybe you're experiencing them yourself, it's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. The Stoics would tell you that the first step isn't about controlling these conditions. It's about accepting their presence while maintaining your inner strength. You've got to understand that this isn't about weakness. It's about recognizing the complexity of the human mind. During manic episodes, the narcissistic traits often amplify to extraordinary levels. You might witness someone you care about making grand plans, believing they're destined for unprecedented greatness, and dismissing any advice or concern from others. The Stoic philosophers would view this as a perfect opportunity to practice what they called rational observation, watching without judgment, understanding without enabling, and maintaining emotional equilibrium in the face of chaos. This isn't about being cold or distant, it's about being present with wisdom. The depressive phases bring their own unique challenges to this complex dynamic. When someone who typically displays narcissistic traits experiences depression, their carefully constructed self-image starts to crack. This is where the Stoic principle of premeditation of adversity becomes invaluable. They taught that by mentally preparing for life's challenges, we build resilience that serves us when times get tough. For someone dealing with both conditions, this preparation isn't just helpful, it's essential for long-term stability. Here's something crucial that often gets overlooked: the role of external validation in this combination of conditions. Narcissistic individuals typically rely heavily on others' admiration and approval to maintain their self-image. Now, add the emotional instability of bipolarity to this mix, and you've got a situation where the need for validation becomes even more intense during manic phases, while its absence during depressive episodes can be particularly devastating. The Stoics would emphasize the importance of finding validation from within, not from external sources. When we look at relationships involving someone with both these conditions, we see a unique pattern emerge. During manic episodes, their narcissistic traits might lead them to believe they're the perfect partner, incapable of making mistakes, while simultaneously making impulsive decisions that affect the relationship. Then during depressive episodes, they might completely withdraw, still maintaining a sense of specialness in their suffering. The Stoic approach here would be to maintain emotional independence while showing compassion, a delicate balance that requires practice and wisdom. Consider the workplace dynamics when these conditions intersect. The combination can create situations where someone might alternate between periods of incredible productivity and grandiose plans, followed by times of withdrawal and inability to maintain their professional facade. The Stoics would emphasize the importance of finding meaning in work beyond personal glory or achievement. They understood that true fulfillment comes from contributing value, not from being recognized as valuable. This perspective can be particularly healing for those struggling with both conditions. Now let's talk about something that hits close to home: family relationships. When a family member experiences both bipolarity and narcissism, it creates ripple effects throughout the entire family system. Traditional roles get challenged, emotional boundaries become blurred, and the family's emotional climate can become unpredictable. The Stoic philosophers would advise families to focus on what they can control: their responses, their boundaries, and their own emotional well-being. This isn't about detachment. It's about maintaining stability while offering support. The impact on children in these situations deserves special attention. Growing up with a parent who experiences both conditions can be particularly challenging. These children often develop an acute sensitivity to emotional atmospheres and may struggle with their own sense of reality and self-worth. The Stoic approach here would be to help these children develop emotional resilience while understanding that their parents' behavior reflects their parents' conditions, not the child's worth. This understanding can be transformative in breaking generational patterns. Looking at treatment approaches through a Stoic lens offers some fascinating insights. The ancient philosophers emphasized the importance of daily practical exercises to build emotional strength and clarity. This aligns perfectly with modern therapeutic approaches that combine medication with cognitive behavioral techniques. The key is understanding that managing these conditions isn't just about controlling symptoms. It's about developing a philosophical framework that promotes stability, self-awareness, and resilience. Consider the role of social media and modern technology in this context. For someone dealing with both conditions, social media can become a double-edged sword. During manic phases, it might feed into narcissistic tendencies by providing instant validation and a platform for grandiose self-expression. During depressive episodes, it might intensify feelings of inadequacy through constant comparison. The Stoics would likely advise careful management of these modern tools, emphasizing the importance of maintaining perspective and not letting external validation drive our sense of self-worth. Understanding the seasonal patterns in these conditions reveals interesting insights that the Stoics would find particularly relevant. They believed in living in harmony with nature's cycles, and this wisdom applies remarkably well to managing the rhythms of bipolarity when complicated by narcissistic traits. Different seasons can trigger different patterns. Spring might amplify manic episodes, while winter could deepen depressive phases. The key is developing awareness of these patterns while maintaining the emotional equilibrium that Stoic practice advocates. The challenge of maintaining relationships during these fluctuations deserves deeper exploration. Friends and romantic partners often struggle to navigate the intense shifts between idealization and devaluation, complicated by the mood swings of bipolarity. The Stoic answer isn't to withdraw from relationships, but to approach them with wisdom and emotional independence. They would emphasize the importance of maintaining your own center while engaging with others, understanding that true connection comes from stability rather than intensity. Professional development presents unique challenges when these conditions intersect. Career paths might be marked by periods of exceptional achievement, followed by significant setbacks. The Stoic perspective offers valuable guidance here. Focus on the process rather than the outcome. Maintain consistency in effort rather than chasing dramatic successes, and find value in the work itself rather than in recognition or status. This approach can help create a more sustainable professional journey, despite the challenges these conditions present. Looking at the role of self-care through both modern and Stoic lenses provides practical insights. The ancient philosophers understood the connection between physical and mental well-being long before modern psychology confirmed it. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and proper nutrition aren't just health basics. They're essential tools for managing both conditions. The Stoics would add another crucial element: the daily practice of self-reflection and rational examination of our thoughts and behaviors. The impact on decision-making processes reveals another layer of complexity. When narcissistic traits combine with bipolar symptoms, decisions might alternate between grandiose risk-taking and paralyzing self-doubt. The Stoic approach to decision-making, emphasizing rational analysis, emotional distance, and consideration of long-term consequences, offers a valuable framework for maintaining better judgment despite these challenging conditions. Recovery and growth take on unique dimensions when dealing with this combination of conditions. The Stoic philosophers understood something profound about personal transformation. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about aligning our actions with our highest understanding of truth. For someone managing both bipolarity and narcissistic traits, this means developing a more stable sense of self that isn't dependent on either extreme emotional states or constant external validation. Communication patterns require special attention when these conditions interact. During manic phases combined with narcissistic traits, someone might dominate conversations with grandiose plans and self-centered narratives. During depressive episodes, they might withdraw while still expecting others to intuitively understand and meet their needs. The Stoic emphasis on clear, honest, and rational communication offers a middle path, one that maintains connection without enabling unhealthy patterns or losing personal boundaries. The role of support systems takes on crucial importance in managing these intertwined conditions. The Stoics recognize that while individual strength is essential, we exist within a community that can either support or hinder our growth. Building a network of understanding but firm supporters, including mental health professionals, family members, and friends who understand both conditions, creates a foundation for sustainable management and growth. It's about finding people who can maintain their own emotional balance while offering genuine support. Consider the impact on creativity and artistic expression, a fascinating aspect of this combination. Many individuals experiencing these conditions find themselves drawn to creative pursuits, often producing remarkable work during manic phases while struggling to maintain consistent output during depressive episodes. The Stoic approach would emphasize finding balance in creative expression, neither suppressing it nor letting it become an unhealthy escape, but rather channeling it into meaningful and sustainable forms of expression. Understanding the role of routine and structure becomes essential for long-term stability. While the narcissistic aspects might resist the perceived mundane nature of routine, and bipolar symptoms might make consistency challenging, the Stoic philosophers would emphasize the dignity and importance of daily disciplines. They understood that true freedom comes not from doing whatever we feel like in the moment, but from building habits that support our well-being and growth. The journey of self-awareness becomes particularly complex when navigating these dual conditions. The Stoics emphasize the importance of honest self-reflection, but this becomes especially challenging when narcissistic traits color our self-perception and bipolar symptoms affect our emotional stability. The key lies in developing what modern psychologists might call metacognition, the ability to observe our own thoughts and feelings from a more objective standpoint, something the Stoics mastered centuries ago. Managing financial decisions presents unique challenges in this context. The combination of grandiose thinking during manic episodes and narcissistic tendencies can lead to excessive spending and risky financial choices. Conversely, depressive episodes might trigger financial paralysis or self-sabotaging behaviors. The Stoic principle of moderation offers valuable guidance here, teaching us to make decisions based on rational assessment rather than emotional impulses or inflated self-perceptions. Intimate relationships require special consideration when these conditions intersect. The fluctuating nature of bipolar disorder, combined with narcissistic traits, can create intense but unstable connections. Partners might feel constantly off balance, never quite sure which version of the person they're relating to. The Stoic emphasis on consistency and emotional regulation provides a framework for building more stable and authentic relationships, focusing on genuine connection rather than intensity or drama. Educational and learning environments present both opportunities and challenges. The combination of conditions might lead to periods of intense focus and exceptional achievement, alternating with times of disengagement or difficulty. The Stoic approach to learning, emphasizing steady progress, practical application, and the intrinsic value of knowledge, offers a more sustainable path forward. It's about finding joy in the learning process itself, rather than just in achievements or recognition. The spiritual dimension of healing deserves attention when addressing these conditions. While the Stoics weren't necessarily religious, they understood the importance of connecting with something larger than ourselves. For someone managing both bipolarity and narcissistic traits, developing a spiritual practice, whether traditional or personal, can provide a sense of groundedness and perspective that helps balance both the emotional extremes and the self-centered tendencies. Developing emotional intelligence becomes crucial when managing these intertwined conditions. The Stoics were pioneers in understanding how our thoughts influence our emotions and behaviors. For someone dealing with both bipolarity and narcissistic traits, building emotional intelligence means learning to recognize triggers, understand patterns, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This skill becomes particularly valuable during transitions between different mood states. The impact on physical health often gets overlooked when focusing on the psychological aspects of these conditions. The stress of managing both bipolar symptoms and narcissistic traits can take a significant toll on the body. The Stoic philosophy of treating the body as a sacred vessel that houses our rational mind offers valuable guidance. They understood that physical well-being isn't separate from mental health, but rather an essential foundation for emotional stability and clear thinking. Conflict resolution takes on added complexity when these conditions interact. The combination can lead to intense confrontations during manic phases, while narcissistic traits might make it difficult to accept responsibility or see others' perspectives. The Stoic approach to conflict, emphasizing rational discussion, emotional control, and the search for truth rather than victory, provides valuable tools for managing disagreements more effectively and maintaining healthier relationships. Understanding the role of identity becomes particularly important in the healing journey. Both conditions can significantly impact how someone views themselves and their place in the world. The Stoic concept of self-identity, based on character and choices rather than achievements or others' opinions, offers a more stable foundation for personal growth. It's about developing an authentic sense of self that isn't dependent on either extreme emotional states or constant external validation. Looking toward the future requires balancing hope with realism. The Stoics would encourage maintaining optimism about growth and change while accepting the ongoing nature of managing these conditions. This isn't about resignation, but rather about finding strength in acceptance and wisdom in continued effort. The path forward involves building resilience, maintaining support systems, and consistently applying the principles that promote stability and growth. Life presents unique challenges when bipolarity and narcissism intertwine, but the ancient Stoic wisdom offers timeless guidance for navigating this complex journey. Remember, you're not defined by these conditions. You're defined by how you choose to respond to them. The Stoics understood that true strength comes from facing reality with courage, maintaining emotional equilibrium amid life's storms, and finding purpose beyond personal struggles. Whether you're dealing with these conditions yourself or supporting someone who is, know that every step toward understanding and balance is significant. By combining modern therapeutic approaches with age-old Stoic principles, you can build a life characterized not by perfect stability, but by resilient growth, meaningful connections, and an unwavering commitment to personal truth.